So one of the things that I promised to do was to really come to you when I'm just thinking about things. I don't know what the subject is going to be or even how I'm going to get out of it, but this is where my mind is this morning. Um, there's been a theme to these bedside chats if you go back and look at them from the beginning. I first talked about soulmates. I talked about connecting to people soul to soul. And then I got into when you are connected to someone, you want to do what you can to help them. But I got into talking about money and what is it really and how does it govern our happiness. We always believe when we have so little of it that if we had more, we would be happier. But statistically, that doesn't pan out because there are just miserable millionaires in the world. And then I got into talking again about relationships and our relationships that sometimes hinder our calls, the things that we really came on this planet to do. We get locked down in these relationships that slow us down and sometimes detours completely off our path to really examine those things. And then I came back to a deeper conversation on soulmates. Um, and then I kind of pivoted, but not really, because you can only go as far as you motivate yourself. Everyone's looking for a savior. They're looking for someone to come along and ignite something inside of them that only they have the match to. It's your passion, it's your belief system, it's whatever you are most emphatic about that you then produce the next thing you're supposed to do, including relationships. So if you're not where you should be, I think you just need to examine how you spend your time, not just on what you're doing, but who are you doing it with? Who's around you? What have they achieved? Where are they going with their lives, which will oftentimes reflect how far you can go with yours. It's hard to teach someone how to build a jet engine, a jet propulsion engine, if all they've ever built is a little cart, go kart motorbike. It might be the same principle as far as getting from here to here, but they're totally different experience levels. So, are you talking to people who have gone further than you've ever gone, or anyone in your family has ever gone, and asking them the right questions about how can I get there where you are too? That's what being a mentor is really all about, helping someone else achieve what you've learned so that they can take what you've learned and preferably go further. What are you doing is the question that I woke up in my spirit to this morning. What are you really doing? Are you spending more time thinking about yourself and what's missing in your own life, whether it's love or money or sex, and you're doing everything all day long to satiate your desires? Or are you looking outside of yourself and seeing the needs in others and doing everything in your power to create ideas, solutions to moving a mass of people forward? Now, a mass of people doesn't necessarily mean you are moving that mass. All you can do is help one person, but that one person then can help another, and then before you know it, two, three, four people are influenced because of your initial interest, and that's how you move a mass. You move it one soul at a time. So everything that I've been talking about, everything that these bedside chats have been about these interpersonal relationships that are affecting us, they're either draining us of resources or they are putting energy and influence and articulation in our hearts. And then that encouragement allows us to reach out and do something different. I haven't talked a lot about what I'm doing and what I'm about to do, and I'm not going to have that conversation this morning. But in a couple of months, I'll be very much in a new environment. And I'm excited to be doing that again because every time I'm there, whether it's on a film set or I was going to real estate school, I meet just one person. That's all I need to meet that I'm supposed to know that I would not have met any other way. See, everyone thinks you go to these things or you challenge yourself with education or whatever to change your personal life. And you do if that's your intention. My intention has never been that. That's why it will look, if you look back over my path, you will see a lot of things that I didn't finish. Now, if you're being critical of that as being the reason that this, that, and the other happens, you will miss what I was there for the whole time. I was never there to finish things. I've always known that. I am more interested in the people that I meet on my journey. And I've spent way more time learning who they were and how they affected me and what I had to learn from them. Because there's a book, I believe it's the James Redfield's book. I'll think of the name of it in a minute. But you meet people who are supposed to be in your soul group. They're in your soul group. And because they're in that group and you're in a place that you will never come back to ever again, that particular group of people in that particular time, pay attention to those moments because those moments are sacred. And you definitely want to be in a mindset that as much as that in that conversation from that lecturer is interesting to me, who I'm sitting next to, in front of, or behind is far more interesting, because how souls come together in the place they end up is actually the miracle of life. It's hard for me to talk to people who are not paying attention, who are so anesthetized or so depressed or so distracted that they are not noticing where they're standing at all times. They're in this haze. They're just kind of going through life, kind of paying by the numbers. And they don't recognize that they are standing right next to a sacred moment all the time. Those are the people I want to talk to. Those are the people I hope I continue to cross paths with. What are you doing? What are you doing today? Are you going to pay attention to the room you're in? Are you going to pay attention to the person that has asked you the time of day, but they're really not asking you about time? They're saying, notice me, pay attention to me. I want you to reach out. I want you to be uncomfortable having to be the initiator, because if you really want your life to change, the ignition of how that happens is inside of you. People can come along to inspire you, but you still have to keep the pilot light lit. Once it's lit, it's up to you to keep it burning. Yeah. Good morning. I'll see you tomorrow.